Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, Rewind That. It's your girl, Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one right here. Okay, guys, so this is my movie night, and I've decided to watch Divorced in the Black by Tyler Perry. And yes, I'm very, very late. So you're probably going to be getting a few movies like this because there's a lot of things that your girl has not watched. Okay. So you're going to be able to get, my thoughts on it, pretty much full recap. But I doubt if we'll be here for a whole hour. But every time I say that, it winds up being that way. But we'll see, okay? We'll see. Now, let's get into this without further ado. I will hold off on giving you my overall opinion about the movie, but of course, I'm going to be dropping my opinion as I go through it because that's just how I do it, okay? Shout out to everyone who is in the building now. This is not a live recording, so I'm not going to be able to talk to you guys and interact with you guys right now, but I will be watching along with you during the premiere, so thank you so much for joining me as usual, and shout out to my night owls. Okay, let's get into this, guys. So this movie, Divorced in the Black, stars Corey Hardrick and Megan Good. Okay, so let's get into it, y'all. Now we have the movie starting off at a funeral where Beyonce's ex-stepdaddy, the pastor, okay, Pastor Clarence, he's giving a eulogy unlike anything that I've ever seen, guys, okay? Like, the pastor tells the congregation that the man in the casket done went to hell, okay? But wait, it's okay. All hope is not lost because the other brothers can learn from his mistakes and not follow their brother into hell as well, all right? So the mother, she over here like, wait a minute now. She like, what are you saying? You saying my boy done went to hell? So they're literally going back and forth across the pulpit to the pew. And the pastor tells the mother that her sons have made this town miserable, and the only one who made anything of himself was Dallas. Okay, so the mother, she's cutting the pastor off, and she says, I know you ain't gonna say that it's because of your daughter, because all she does is judge him and makes his life miserable. So that's actually when your son's making this whole town miserable, right? So now the daughter, Ava, who's played by Megan Good, she has to defend herself. She's like, no, I haven't, so it's just crazy in there, guys. Now, I'm laughing too because I'm like, wow, all this at a funeral, like, really? So let me just say this before I move forward, right? When the pastor first started going off about how the brother is in hell, Dallas looks at his wife like, you believe this guy? So that was my impression at first. But now that I know that the pastor is her father, Dallas is really looking at her like, girl, you better get your daddy. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, come to find out, the mom was saying, you said that your father was going to do right by us and say some good things and stuff like that. And so now they're all mad at her and they're blaming her, which is not fair, of course. So anyway, in the funeral scene, we also find out that the deceased was deleted because he tried to rob an elderly woman and she shot him, okay? Like, she wasn't having it. So listen, don't sleep on folks, no matter how old they are, okay? So, yeah, it gets crazier, okay? Because we find out that the church and most likely the pastor's family, right, Ava's family, they're paying to buy the boy, quote unquote, the boy, as Mrs. Bertrand called him. They're paying to bury him, all right, the deceased. So Mama Bertrand, she refuses to be a charity case and she starts taking her clothes off in the church, because apparently they were hand-me-downs, right? Then she tells her sons to get their brother's body out of the casket. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Because she like, I will not have them saying that they paid for this and they paid to bury my boy, blah, 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 right? And that was just freaking crazy to me, guys. And I'm pretty sure that it was traumatic for some folks up in there, right? Like, I swear Tyler Perry is always trying to go for the shock value. And it's just like, bro, it's borderline cringy sometimes. I can't take it all the time. But anyway, so we get a scene where Ava is talking to her parents, and I don't know what Dallas has done yet, but the father is asking Ava where the line is, okay? Like, where you going to draw the line? What does Dallas have to do for you to walk away, okay? So that conversation hit home for me, to be honest, but it sure had me curious to know what kind of husband Dallas has been, right? Because at this point, I'm just watching. This is the freaking beginning of the movie, okay? So next, guys, we have Ava. She goes to check on Dallas, and he tells her that this is the last time he allows her to embarrass him in front of his family. He tells Ava that he heard the people laughing in the church when they left. And I was like, bro, no, the heck they weren't. That was pure shock that them people felt in that church, okay? Like, them unnatural shenanigans probably ruined their whole day, week, month, year. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But look, that's how Dallas saw it. He just knew folks was laughing, okay? He also tells Ava that he's tired of her trying to change him. You don't like me for me, all this bull crap, right? So I'm already getting my answer as to why Ava's parents want her to put on her track shoes and run from Dallas, okay? Now, it's clearly showing me now that the man is unstable, and he's already letting it be known that he has a couple of screws loose, okay? This is what I see so far. All right. Then he tells her to get out the truck before he drags her out. And he's like, and you know I will too. You know, just terrible. Okay. So next, guys, we see that Dallas's whole family, they don't like Ava, the mother or the brothers. Okay. You know, the only one who seems to have some kind of sense is Dallas's brother Morris, who is now the oldest. Okay. So the other brothers, they feel like Ava is always, you know, taking Dallas away from them. And I'm just like, oh gosh, here we go. Like, that is a terrible family to be married into. Like, one of those people that just don't respect marriage, and they just kind of feel like, hey, you know, even if you do get married, you're supposed to always be about us over here. Like, you're not supposed to be about your wife. You're not supposed to move away, like all of this stuff. So that's already a red flag. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let's continue on, folks. So then, guys, we get a scene where they were ready to beat the heck out of Ava's old friend Benji. And I'm like, sheesh, like, y'all really are the town's troublemakers, huh? And, you know, she couldn't even call on Morris to be the voice of reason with this one because he wanted all the smoke. Like, he was like, yeah, nah, I think he might need his behind whooped again. Because clearly they beat him up years ago. We find out later on that they beat him up years ago and put him in the hospital and everything for like talking to Ava, or not just talking to her. Come to find out, they was probably getting a little steamy in the truck or something like that, okay? But then, guys, later on, like not even later on, but a few moments later in this particular scene, Morris had to beat up Dallas, okay, because his drunk behind wanted to drive, and little big brother wasn't having it, so he had to put the paws on Dallas. And at this point, I was thinking, is he gonna make Ava pay for that? But no, that didn't go anywhere. We just know later on that he wanted to, you know, pretty much get a divorce, but we'll get to that, okay? So next, guys, when they're home, remember Dallas is drunk, so they're home now, and Dallas tells Ava that she made me kill my daddy. And so at this point, I'm assuming that he's talking about his mother, right? But Dallas is clearly a broken man, regardless of whoever the heck he's talking about. This is something that is traumatic for him. And, you know, through the tears, he asked Ava why she was with him because he ain't ish, all right? And of course, we see Ava trying to console him and convince him, no, you have a heart. Don't say that about yourself and all of this stuff. You were wrong about that, blah, blah, blah. You know, so with all of this happening, guys, as I'm thinking about everything that happened after, and we're going to get to that whole thing where he wants a divorce and everything, she was trying to tell her friend, fast forward, that there's always like a little bit of a breakthrough. So she thinks, you know, he tells her bits and pieces of the stuff that's going on with him or things that have traumatized him over the years. So she feels like she's like chipping at the wall that he has up. And so this was another night where he told her something pretty big. And, you know, she wanted to talk about it the next morning. And he was just like, I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? He tried to play it off and say, oh, I was drunk. I don't know what you're talking about and all of this. And it's just like, that's a really tough situation to be in when you're with somebody that doesn't want to talk, and the only time that they do talk is when they're under the influence. That's sad. So anyway, guys, next we have Rona and Jim invite Dallas and Ava out for dinner, but Dallas leaves Ava because he claims she took too long. All right. Then to make things worse, he tells Jim that black women ain't ish right at the table, okay, in front of Rona and his wife Ava. And then he says, you know what? Basically saying the black women ain't this and that, and they're not supportive. And he was like, I want a divorce. We have no kids, so this should be easy, right? And I'm like, wow, way to spring this on someone. Like, he really showed that he was such a mean-spirited man, right? But anyway, guys, so next we have Rona, who she gives Ava a letter of every crappy thing that Dallas has ever done to her. And I don't agree with her doing that, okay? Like, I feel like it's not her place, in my opinion. I mean, I think that that's something for Ava to do herself, but not for Rona to do. It's not for Rona to give. Like, why would you sit down and take your time to write down all the things that someone did to me? You know what I'm saying? But that's just my thought, guys. I get that Rona is only looking out for Ava, but like Ava said, she don't need to read it because she lived it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like people don't think sometimes, of course she loved her friend. She wanted the best for her, but she was trying to get her to see, like, listen, girl, you need to take a look. Okay, you need to go back and just see all the stuff, girl, and make up your mind, because later on we find out that that was how she got over her ex. But it's like, what was good for you and how it worked out for you is not always how it's going to work out for somebody else. You know what I mean? And she probably was in this relationship a little longer than you were in the relationship with your ex, right? So it's a little different. Like, if this was Jim, you probably would be on a different, you know what I'm saying? You would probably have different energy when it comes to it. So sometimes I just kind of feel like people be overstepping a little bit, even though they're close friends and they tell each other their business. I think that with certain things, it's just like, let me back up a little bit. You could tell your friend, like, girl, you need to really come on now. Something got to give. Just like what the parents said. They said, when you going to draw the line? You know what I mean? Without really, like, being all up in her business, though. But they're just saying, because they're parents, when you going to draw the line? But the friend Rona, I feel like she was in the business too much. She just was in the business too much, in my opinion. But whatever. So anyway, y'all, Ava goes home to tell her parents that Dallas wants a divorce, even after she tried to be the best wife that she could. Okay. So now we got the mama who reads all the terrible things that Dallas did to Ava, and now she's blaming herself, okay? And this is why Rona shouldn't have wrote that daggone letter, because, it doesn't just affect Ava, right? But I guess that her mother needed to find out some way what her daughter was going through. I mean, but they knew that this guy was no good for her. But for her to be going through all of this, that's insane, guys. Okay. So then Father Clarence comes home to see his girls crying, and he's like, what's going on? So Jean says, oh, we're having our period. And I was like, oh my gosh, really? Because she had already told Ava that they can't tell Clarence because he would delete Dallas. Okay. Because we find out through all that stuff that Rona wrote down that Dallas has been absolutely horrible. Okay. Like beating on Ava, spitting on her, and, just doing a lot of heartbreaking things. All right. But on another note, guys, both of Ava's parents tell her that they're proud of her, and it makes her feel good because it's not something that they're good at expressing, especially the mom. She didn't tell Ava that she was proud of her all the time, even though she really was. So guys, something that was annoying about Ava's parents to me was that they kept trying to ship her and Benji, this guy right here. They kept trying to ship them together, and it was like, hello, too soon. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't even signed the papers yet. Like, what the heck is going on? All right. And then we got Benji, who ain't no better. He over here trying to tell Ava that she can talk to him because he's been through it and he knows what it's like to go through a divorce and blah, blah, blah. And it's weird to me because you clearly can see that he's trying to get close to her, and she ain't even get a divorce yet. It was just annoying and stupid. in my opinion, especially when he tells her that he understands how she feels because when he first went through his divorce, he wasn't thinking about another relationship either, right? So I'm like, okay, then back the freak up. Like, why are you in my face? You know what I'm saying? You're freaking thirsty. Bye. But anyway, y'all, Ava has to tell her parents to like stop pushing Benji on her. Like, just stop it because it's not going to help her get past this right now. And I really didn't understand like the whole rush with this thing. It was something that really annoyed me throughout this whole movie, was just like them automatically, as soon as they find out that she was getting a divorce, not that she was divorced, she was getting a divorce, they was already pushing and shipping. And I'm just like, that is not how it works. Like, this is super weird right now, okay? So anyway, guys, in this same scene, her parents sit her down and they start showing her all these videos, okay? They're showing her the videos of how happy she was before she got with Dallas. She's running track, she's winning awards, she's doing this, she's doing that, right? Then they showed her the shenanigans that happened at the wedding, and I was like, wow, so these freaking Bertrands are good for messing up, like, you know, important events in people's lives, like weddings and funerals, okay? So anyway, Clarence tells Ava that he tried to be an example for her when she was growing up. You know, he treated her mother with love, kindness, and respect. So he doesn't understand how or why she ended up with a guy like Dallas. And, you know, for him making a point like that, I'm over here like, well, yeah, I don't get it either. Like, it's kind of crazy to me. But what is her friend's name? Rona, she had mentioned something in one of the scenes, and she was saying like she likes to rescue, you know what I mean? Like, she had like this cat that she found or something like that, that she was just so into. Ava was so into this cat and all that, so she likes to fix things and whatever. So I'm like, what? I mean, maybe that's a complex that she got, you know, but to stay with somebody that long who was just being so terrible to her, it's sad. And I'm not judging, I'm just saying it's sad. Okay. So next, after all of Ava's talk about how she wants her parents to stop pushing Benji on her, she sees Benji at the carnival, and, you know, after some talking and whiskey, she tells Benji that she wants him to make love to her. I've only been with Dallas and I want you to make love to me. And I was so glad that Benji refused her because, you know, he knew that Ava was just being vulnerable. Plus, he let her know that when the time comes, he wants her to be thinking of him and only him. Okay. And it's a good thing that he did that too, because after she took a little nap, she came back to her senses and tells him that she doesn't have time for anyone else in her life but him. Which is weird to me because after all of this, they still wind up being together anyway. Like, I just felt like there was a lot of stuff with this movie that was kind of like, doesn't really flow, but we'll get there, okay? So now it's time to get back home, okay? She's feeling good, she's feeling revived, she's feeling like, you know, I have this new lease on life all of a sudden. I got my life back in a week. I'm just all of a sudden over Dallas in 1 week. My parents are so great that they were able to make me feel better about myself, which is, look, is very, very possible. Okay. But I'm so sorry. I don't agree that somebody could just be like, you know what? I'm totally over this. Boom. You know, just totally over it. I'm good. I'm done. Right? I mean, in this scene right here, she is telling him that she doesn't have any time for anyone but herself. I'm on a self-care mission, a self-care tour. Okay, yes, do all those things, girl. Yes, okay. But that is not how things pans out, which is something that just irks me. And how quickly she was over him. And the message that this movie sends is that, you know what they say, in order to get over one person, you got to get under another. That's what they tell the ladies. And it's just like, that still don't work though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't work. I mean, but anyway, clearly it worked out for her. You know what I mean? But Anyway, we're gonna leave that alone. I don't even want to get too deep into all of that. You know what I'm saying? Because if I do, I'll probably be here longer than I really need to be. Okay, so we're just going to take this for what it is. This is a Tyler Perry production. So we're just going to accept a lot of the shenanigans, but I am going to have to mention some of the things that just don't make sense to me, or some of the stuff that I just don't like or rock with. And that's just how it is, and that's how it's going to be. Okay, so let's move on, y'all. So like I said, Ava done went back home. She got a new lease on life and she's feeling good. I'm starting to run again and all this stuff. And oh my gosh, my life is back. I'm back to my old self. Okay. So old self, while she was having a little fun at the carnival talking to Benji, somebody was snapping pictures of her and Benji. And they send the picture to crazy old Dallas, okay? Now, this man done filed a divorce now, okay? But he's still pissed off when he gets this call from his brother, who is the one who sent him the pic of Ava with Benji. So the brother is going on about how Ava been cheating on him, right? And mama saw the picture too, right? But you getting a divorce, right? So it seems like Dallas, although he's terrible, guys, very terrible, it seems to me like his family is manipulating him and they're pushing him to get the divorce. That's what it seems like, okay? Now, they just seem jealous of Dallas and Ava's relationship. That's what I gather, okay? But anyway, guys, next, Ava goes to meet with Dallas and she's trying to sign the divorce papers because he had went to her job making a whole fuss after that phone call and was like, didn't I tell you you better be down there? I've been calling you, texting you 7 times, da da da. Like, he is definitely one for all of the shenanigans and all of the scene making. He makes scenes, obviously. Okay. Have you seen his family? Have you seen the Bertrands? They make scenes. That's what they do. So he goes up in there, the bank, she over there with a client trying to talk to them, and you hear me, B? This and that and third. Then gonna tell Rona, you want to lose your job, B? I'm like, this guy is absolutely insane, like absolutely crazy. So she comes to the lawyer's office and she's sitting. She doesn't even sit down, actually. She gets right in there and she's like, listen, I'm ready to sign the papers. Where do I sign? So the lawyer is telling her that he recommends that she gets a lawyer to look things over as well, right? Look things over before you sign. But Ava refuses and she tells the lawyer that she understands what she read. And I'm telling you in front of all these witnesses that I don't need a lawyer. So where do I sign? So he shows her and she signs and leaves the room. And, I honestly thought that something was going to come of this because everybody's looking around and this and that. And I'm like, girl, like, I understand you said you read the stuff and you understand, but I was really thinking that there was going to be some little, something that she didn't read in between the lines, or, just something in there that would have tripped things up and she would have probably had to pay him all this money, or, just something weird. I thought it was going to be way more than that. That didn't come of anything. So even that was stupid right there. Just the whole thing of, oh, we really do suggest you get a lawyer, as if it was something that she was signing that could be detrimental to her in the future. Like, that's one of my issues with this movie, is that there was a lot of unnecessary dialogue. Okay, that made you feel like, okay, well, whatever happened to this? Okay, well, why did they say this? Why, just that type of stuff gets under my skin. Okay. So anyway, guys, so like I said, she says, where do I sign? She signs, she leaves the room, and then Dallas is pissed off and he tells Jim that Ava is doing all this just because she wants to be with Benji. And Jim is all stressed out because he knows that his friend is crazy, and he reminds Dallas that he's the one who wanted the freaking divorce. Okay, like, brother, calm down. You wanted the divorce, all right? But everything with Dallas is like, oh, she trying to embarrass me. It's just delusion, guys. Pure freaking delusion at this point, okay? So next we got Rona, who can't even let the damn ink dry, and she throws Ava a divorce party, and she also gets Benji's number from Ava's mama, and Benji shows up as well. So there's strippers there and there's Benji, and I just knew that this had to be a problem because it was just too soon, all right? So now you got Dallas showing up. And he outside of Jim and Rona's house. And thankfully, Jim was able to get Dallas to go home because Dallas was ready to come inside and everything. He was like, who in there? Y'all having something? Come on, that's exactly what I need. I need a woman, because Jim was just showing up. I'm sorry, not Jim. Dallas was just showing up to Jim's house because Jim is his best friend. So he was feeling some type of way. He was drunk and all that stuff, but he still wanted to go and lean on his friend. Okay. So to make matters worse, guys, oh gosh, Ava and Benji wind up getting it in later on that night. And surprise, surprise, the next morning, Ava goes downstairs to find Psycho Dallas in the kitchen eating cereal. Okay. So he tells Ava that he's willing to forgive her and give her another chance. And he said, I done told my mama and my brother that you my wife, and they gonna have to get over that stuff with you and Benji. Now, at this time, he doesn't know that Benji is upstairs sleeping. So Ava tells him that she will never beg a ninja to stay with her, And he's like, who told you to talk like this? This don't even sound like you, right? But anyway, I'm coming home and I'm about to take a shower in my own home. And he starts going upstairs. And so she's following him like, you need to leave, Dallas, you need to leave. So he goes upstairs and he sees Benji in the bed. So he loses it, pulls Benji out the bed, starts beating him up. Benji finally wake up a little bit. They start fighting, And so, guys, look, before I continue, I just want to say that if you're a man who's getting in a relationship with a woman who just got a divorce or out of a long-term relationship, don't sleep at her house. You know what I'm saying? Because you just never know if her ex is going to show up. Just play it safe and play it smart. Just don't do it, okay? So anyway, guys, Benji puts Dallas to sleep and Ava drags him down the stairs and out the house. Then Benji picks him up and puts him in his truck. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And she's over there telling him he's supposed to be unconscious or whatever. And she's over there telling him, get out of my house. I'm tired of this. Don't you ever come back. And I'm like, girl, he's knocked out. He put him to sleep. Shut up. I get it. But this is what I'm saying. Some of the stuff, and I know Meagan Good can act, but some of the stuff was just cringy. I don't know. Anyway, it was just a cringy scene. So I don't, there's nothing else that I can say because I just don't want to shred things. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to rip this movie into shreds. I'm not going to say that I didn't enjoy it, but I'm just saying there's just certain parts that it's just be like, that's why I'm kind of over the whole TP train. The Oval did that. It was just like, bro, you done lost your mind. So I can't really follow you anymore like that because I don't know. You need to invite some more folks into that writing room, boo, because I don't know, you be reaching to the point where it's like, it makes my skin crawl, the stuff that you got going on. Oh, I feel kind of terrible saying these things, but whatever. It's just my opinion. I'm so sorry. It is my opinion. Okay? No disrespect. All right? So, look, Benji done helps her put him in the car. And I'm like, girl, you done started saying now because, child, what happens next? Dallas is not going away. Okay, he is parked outside looking beat up in front of the bank, okay, where Ava works. So Rona is trying to tell Ava that she needs a restraining order, but Ava, she ain't trying to hear it. She tells Rona look, I know Dallas, he just needs to calm down, okay? And after taking that L from Benji, guys, look, Dallas ain't about to calm down nothing, okay? On top of that, Benji is sleeping on Dallas too because he feels like he handled the situation. You know what I mean? Yet he sees his animals were poisoned and deleted. So how well do you really think you handled the situation, bruh? Just straight stupidity at this point, okay? So one thing that I'm scratching my head about is how Dallas traveled an hour and a half to go to Benji's animals, then make it back to Atlanta to tell Jim that Ava played him and has been screwing Benji the whole time. It's definitely possible, but the way that the scenes are skipping around, it's not giving time jumps, right? It just seems like one thing is happening after another in a short time span. So yeah, there goes the scratching my head moments, y'all. You know I gotta give it to you. So at this point, guys, Mama Jean and Daddy Clarence then found out that Dallas was in Ava's house. So Clarence is already on his way, and Jean is about to stop what she's doing and be on her way as well. But Clarence tells her not to come. Okay. So as soon as Mama Jean gets off the phone with Father Clarence or Daddy Clarence, look who the heck pops up. Okay. Dallas. He pops up like the freaking psycho that he is. And once again, he just keeps popping up with the quickness, going from Atlanta to their hometown, which is an hour and a half away. Okay. Makes no sense, but whatever. Anyway, guys, so this man grabs Jean up and he's pretty much, being threatening towards her. Now run and tell your husband that. But Miss Jean, she don't want to tell her husband anything because she doesn't want him to try to go and delete anyone. And on top of that, she feels like him going over there is going to get him killed anyway, right? So in this scene, we hear Dallas accusing Mama Jean of knowing that Ava was screwing Benji the whole time. And I mean, he out here making a whole scene in the grocery store. So of course it wasn't a surprise when this gets back to Clarence. Okay. And we're going to get back to that. So Daddy Clarence, he gets to Ava's house and he's putting up cameras, changing locks. He bringing artillery and he's like, listen, this needs to be in every room. Like, stop playing around, all of that. So we're like, okay, we see you, Pops. Like, he ain't playing around. Okay, so now we got Jim and Rona who invite Ava and her new boo Benji over to the house now to have a little shindig. And I'm just like, see, all of this stuff is too soon for me. And the fact that Jim is supposed to be Dallas's best friend, this is foul. Okay? It in no way excuses Dallas's behavior, but Jim, you needed to find a proper balance in this situation, my friend. This man Benji should not have been in your house. I don't care what nobody says about it. I'm sorry. There is a code. If you're gonna be my friend, and I don't care if your wife and I was gonna say Maya. I don't care if your wife and Ava are also friends. We can't do this right here. Okay, you're gonna have to have a talk with your wife. And I'm kind of talking about this prematurely because I wanted to talk about it toward the end. But I just got to say it now. You should have had a talk with your wife and say, listen, we need to create some healthy boundaries. Okay, I don't think Benji should be coming over here. I don't think we're going to be having any type of couple gathering between Ava and her new boo because this is murky for me. You know what I'm saying? This is like a conflict of interest. I can't get down with that. And as much as his wife Rona hates Dallas, she should be able to understand because when it comes to Ava, she want Jim to be all about Ava. Let's save Ava. Come on, we got to go save Ava. Okay, right. You want to be there for your friend and Jim wants to be there for his friend. So I think you should respect it both ways. But I just really don't like that Jim did not find a healthy balance, in this whole thing. It was very irking and very just messy. It's just messy and disgusting, actually. So anyway, let's talk about this freaking scene. All right. So like I said, Jim and Rona, they got Ava and Benji over their house having a good old freaking time. Like life is sweet, right? Like we don't have a whole crazy ninja out here on the prowl. Okay. So crazy ninja, aka Dallas, he shows up because he wants to talk to his best friend. Okay. And that's another thing. We already see that Dallas be showing up because ever since this thing happened, because he wants to talk to Jim. So why would you think it's a good idea to have Benji over with Ava? Like, it just make sense. Okay. So anyway, of course, Nona, she hates the sight of Dallas, so she calls the cops because Ava already filed a restraining order against him, okay? But let's just get to the freaking part where Dallas asks Jim how he could betray him like this by having Benji over, sitting in my spot and everything. And like I said, guys, I agree with him on this one, okay? all the shenanigans aside, all of the terribleness aside, I agree with Dallas, okay? So Dallas starts to blow up Jim's spot and reveals that Jim was messing around with this chick named Kelly for years, okay? And I wasn't surprised because I just had a feeling that something like this was going to happen. I knew Jim wasn't innocent, and I ain't feel sorry for him either because I just didn't like how he played this whole thing, okay? So Rona, she tries to play it off like she knew about Jim's affair, but you can tell that she didn't like what was being said and she was hurt, that she possibly didn't know, right? But we do find out that through Jim that apparently he told Rona about the situation. Like he told Rona that it happened one time and that Dallas was lying about it being an ongoing thing. So, Rona, she don't really know how she feel about it because, Jim is like, listen, we worked through this. Remember I told you it was one time, blah, blah. So she like, I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about this. So, and look, as far as I'm concerned, it's a strong possibility that Dallas was telling the truth, okay? Strong possibility. All right? Because, when dudes be confessing, sometimes they confess half of the stuff when there's a whole heap of shenanigans and lies. So Daddy Clarence done found out about Dallas putting his hands on his wife. So in his stupid anger, okay, he has every right to be angry, guys, but it was stupid anger because he goes to the Bertrands looking for Dallas and almost got himself deleted, all right? Thankfully, Mama Bertrand told the boys, get up off him, okay? So now he's in the hospital, but the sheriff, he can't make an arrest without any proof. And plus, it's not even looking that good for Daddy Clarence right now either, okay? They beat him up with a bat and they shot him in the leg and all this other kind of stuff. So anyway, so now, Ava, she's pissed off. She leaves the hospital. So it seems like she's sending pictures to Dallas's phone of her and Benji. And then she also calls him and she's like, did you hurt my daddy? She asked him if he hurt her father. And of course he denied it. I don't know what you're talking about. And, she also lied to Dallas by falsely admitting that she was sleeping with Benji the whole time and he's a better lover than you. He's the best I ever had. He knows how to do this and all that. And I was like, girl, you doing too much, right? So, of course, she's telling him this to lure him to her because she obviously has a plan. And she's also saying, look, I'm about to go home and make love to him right now. So he fell right into the trap and he gets to the house. Okay, guys. So he's at the house. And so she's asking, did you hurt my daddy? And he said yes. And he pulls out a gun, puts it on the table. Did you put your hands on my mama? All of this stuff. And he's just there looking crazy and psycho. You lied to me. You lied to me. So he trying to deflect. Forget about what I did, girl. You lied to me. Let's talk about that. Okay. So then she starts to be honest with him and tells him that, I really was a good woman to you. I never did anything on you or anything like that, and I respected you. And he said, yeah, you should have been because you was married. I said, you cannot talk to him. He is crazy, okay? Psycho. All right. So now that Dallas is in the house, she starts antagonizing him, and she's saying all the things that a man does not want to hear. So of course now his psycho behind starts beating on her. Okay. And she calls the cops because, this was proof that she needed in order to arrest him, after filing the restraining order. And she's like basically standing off with him. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this thing right here is just a lot. Whatever's going on here is just a lot. I mean, I understand it was a whole plan, but it was just like, because, it was a risky move. It just was risky because she's saying all these crazy things and he brought a gun over there. But, in my opinion, I don't think he brought the gun over there for her. He was going to delete Benji. And he had already told Benji at Jim and Rona's house, like, let me get out of here before I shoot the crap out of you. You know what I'm saying? So he bounced, but now he's here and his plan was to shoot Benji. So she's basically antagonizing him so he can put his hands on her so that she can finally call the cops and they can come and arrest him. But, she has to wind up pulling the shotty out on him. Okay. She gets the shotgun. And we know she winds up shooting him because he did tuck his gun in the back of his shirt. And it looked like, I mean, I rewinded it and I tried to see, did he look like he was going for his gun? Because, like, why did you shoot him? He kind of lunged and that was it. She shot him. So for me, I was just like, you called the cops. I mean, I know you set this up to make it look like self-defense and everything, and then, you know, him having a gun made it look, I guess, okay. But I don't know. I just was trying to figure out, did he look like he was reaching for his gun? But in her mind, all he needed to do was to lunge, which I totally get. You know, I totally get. But I don't think she needed to delete him. Maybe she could have shot him in a kneecap or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, y'all, at the end of the movie, they were, you know, wheeling old Clarence out of the hospital, like, well, out of his hospital room because they're taking him home. He's in a wheelchair. And then they see the Bertrands there as well. And they're like, what are y'all doing here? So they come to find out that another son was shot. And they was like, man, y'all cursed, right? So Mama Bertrand says to Ava, I hope you don't think this is over, you know? And Ava says, for your sake, I hope it is over, you know, because y'all gonna have to learn not to mess with good people, right? Not to push good people too far, all right? And that's how it freaking ended. Okay, and I'm just like, you know what? Okay, so I already let you guys know that one of my biggest pet peeves in this movie was the way Jim handled the situation. And also some of the dialogue that just didn't seem to be necessary because it didn't go anywhere. Okay. Now, one thing that I will say is I don't mind how the movie ended. I mean, oh, they all lived happily ever after, and she was with Benji, and because he waited for her for 17 years and all that stuff. Whatever. Okay, so my thing is, if Ava wanted to move on fast with Benji, that's her business, okay? But as a friend, I think that Jim shouldn't have accepted him in the house. I said that already, right? Now it was, to me, I feel like it's regardless of how your wife is feeling about the situation as far as her being a friend to Ava. I said that. But overall, I think there really needed to be some boundaries set, mostly because they were just adding fuel to the fire. You know what I'm saying? Like having him around, right? Having Benji around and Ava. You know, they out here, oh, we were just having such a good time and he came and he ruined it. Y'all just got a divorce. Like, and this man is already crazy and folks know that he's doing crazy things. He's poisoning animals. Like, he's threatening folks. Like, what is going on? Like, he's just showing up at the house. Why would you think that it's okay to just move on with life as if there's not going to be any ramifications? Like, let stuff simmer down. I mean, then she's got the nerve to say, oh, you know, Dallas just needs to calm down. But you didn't even give him time to calm down. That's the thing. Like, you didn't give him time to calm down, and you bring this ninja into your life when at one point you were saying, oh, I just want you to know, she's telling Benji this, I just want you to know that, you know, it's just going to be about sex for now. Like, she's not really looking for nothing serious. It's just going to be about sex. Well, I guess he must have put it on her, like that they had their little weird, cringy conversation about how she's the best he ever had and all this. And it was stupid. But so I guess he really put it on her and made her change her mind because she clearly is here to make him her man. All right? Whatever. Another thing that I feel like we could have gotten was more of a backstory about Dallas. You know, this is what I mean about unnecessary dialogue. Why would you bring up that his mother or she made me kill my daddy? Right? Why would you bring that up if we're not going to explore, if we're not going to go anywhere with that? That was annoying. You know, even in the beginning, Jim was telling Rona that, you know, there's a lot, because she's not from that town. It's a little complicated. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of things you don't know. Okay, fine. You keep throwing that in there. People keep saying certain things, but we never found out what really went down and what that family really did to Dallas of all people, because you hear throughout some of the dialogue that the family really did certain things to Dallas and stuff like that. Okay, from what I got, they definitely were very manipulative with him, and you know, having him or causing him to make some very stupid decisions when it came to his marriage. Okay, because as far as I'm looking at it, it don't seem like he really wanted to get a divorce. Seems like they went to the funeral and then all of a sudden now, oh, I'm getting a divorce, I want a divorce. It was just weird. And then you have these conflicting stories. You know, 1 minute during the funeral, the father is talking, you know, giving all the business about how all the sons turned out. You dropped out of high school. This one did this one went to jail. This one, you know what I'm saying? The only one that turned out to be anything was Dallas. Okay. He finished school. He did this, whatever. And then later on, when when he finds out that Dallas was in Ava's house, the father says, "Oh, y'all know how that boy was. He been doing this in the town for years," like basically making it sound like he was terrorizing the town. When at first it seemed like it was the Bertrands that were terrorizing the town, making the town miserable. Now you get like little sprinkles in the dialogue that's alluding to Dallas being some type of tyrant, you know? So I don't know. It was just a bit inconsistent for me. Would I ever watch the movie again? Absolutely not. I when I first started watching it, I was like, this is not bad. I don't really see why there were, you know, I was getting mixed reviews. Some people liked it, some people didn't. Some people liked it, some people didn't. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I get why some people didn't enjoy it. I'm not going to say that I didn't enjoy it, but I'm going to say that I'm just not going to watch it again. I'm not interested in watching it again. I thought it might have been something that I would have liked when I first started watching it. Okay. But I just feel like there were just some things that just didn't need to be said, or there were just things that needed to be explained more, you know? I don't like the whole thing with her getting with Benji for some reason. It just felt like it was just too soon. It was too forced. And then she had like this whole false thing where she's like, oh, I don't want to be pushed into a relationship. And I don't, you know, I just want to do self-care, but then she winds up messing with the guy anyway. Like, it was just like, girl, you're giving confused, you know, trying to act like you are in touch with, oh, I'm going to be 40. Girl, you're 37. Okay. Like, you're 37. You ain't 40 yet. Like, she kept saying that she's going to be 40. I'm going to be 40. I'm going to be 40. You're 37. And I understand that once we get to that 37 mark, we do start to be like, man, I'm almost 40 years old, you know, but you got a little time left. And with experience, right? Speaking from experience, because I know that when I was 37, I started talking like that too. Like, yeah, I'm almost 40 years old. You know, you talking to me like this or whatever, right? But like, there really is a difference between those 3 years. Like, the stuff that you learn, the actual, when you probably think that you probably couldn't even get more mature. You always can get more mature. Of course, you can always grow. You can always grow, right? But when you think that you are grown enough, oh yeah, you get to the 40s and you grown. And then you get to 50s and I don't know how grown you are because I'm not there yet. Okay. But I'm just saying, she kept on saying that and I'm just like, girl, you just found yourself back. You just found your voice. And now you trying to act like you got everything all together. Yes, I understand. It makes sense for you to say, hey, I know what I don't want in a man anymore. Okay? I'm going to stick up for myself. Okay? But to be out here acting like you're just healed and ready, I don't know. I just wasn't buying it. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things that I could sit here and say, but I'm going to stop because it's about that time to just stop. I'm glad I watched it. This is me, guys. I finally watched Divorce in the Black. And I will give the movie a 6 out of 10. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Until next time, take care and be blessed. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.